Let's now look at physical healing. I know that's where a lot of you want to be. Well, it's obvious to all that God wants to heal spiritually. And He also wants healing for our soul. So why would it be any different for a body? I think He wants healing for us as a whole. So should we eliminate "if it be thy will" when we put that on the end of our prayer? You see, that's like transferring all responsibility to God. I'm going to wait and see if God really cares. Of course He cares, and He wants to heal us. Maybe I need to start looking at my part. What is my responsibility in my healing? Well, God's Word's where we need to start. See, Jesus healed many when He walked on this earth. Jesus said, "Go wash," so obedience was required. When Jesus asked, "Do you want to be healed?" in this case, the man needed desire. Some healing requires faith, like the woman who slipped and touched His robe. Faith is a universal ingredient. That's a standard all over the globe. And see, some were healed where nothing was required, like those who were raised from the dead. But Jesus knew the will of the Father. By the Spirit, Jesus was being led. And see, there is something that we need to stop and examine. We need to seek the Father before we begin to pray and see what the Father's desire is for the situation. He may want to do things a different way. The Father's first priority now is spiritual healing. Then the next priority is our soul. But if physical healing will bring us to that place, that will certainly be God's goal. But now, if we put all of our focus on physical healing, I think the main point we've missed. If I am walking in total disobedience and His will I continue to resist. See, when my healing becomes more important than the relationship, at that point, I've crossed the line. See, my obedience must be supreme because God is God divine. And when I am walking with Him in obedience, and I've forgiven all to heal my soul, then I believe God is free to heal our body. His desire for us is to be whole. Now, sometimes God does not heal a physical infirmity. The Apostle Paul is an example for us to see. This was so Paul could become stronger spiritually. And he's such an inspiration for you and me. See, Paul prayed for healing 3 times. God said, "My grace is sufficient for thee, because my strength is made perfect in weakness." And Paul said, "May the power of Christ rest upon me." Paul said, "Therefore I take pleasure in infirmities, for when I am weak, then I am strong." And he understood why God did not heal him. I mean, even in prison, he was singing a praise song. So we should pray in faith and believing. God will bring healing for the most important part, and that He will do what's best for the kingdom. We can always trust God's heart. I do want to say one thing about Paul. Now, all sickness does not have a spiritual root. We believe that about 80% does. And I do not believe that Paul's infirmity had a spiritual root. I think it was something outside of that realm. Some think it was maybe his eyesight. His eyesight wasn't as good as he would like for it to be, If that were the case, it may be because God didn't want him reading a bunch of commentaries about how things were. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. I hope you will stay tuned for the next DVD. We're going to cover some very important parts in it. And so God bless. Thanks again.